Our cast. Brawin, the halfling adventurer and lore seeker, is heading to Absalom. He has been hired by local oddities merchant and psychic Rin Zivinji to recruit heroes to investigate the Gauntlet outside the fishing and lumber town of Otari. Rin has also hired Ninkarak, a local lizard folk guide, to keep Brawin safe on the road. Meanwhile, in Absalom, 4 recent survivors of a shipwreck in the harbor are looking for relief after their ordeal. Agathios, an art-loving Nagaji, befriended Kasetsu, a catfolk barbarian, and Dusty, a pixie following the Lantern King, as they all voyaged south towards the city of Absalom. The final leg ended abruptly on the ship of Thalen, a merchant who had hoped to complete his first voyage to the metropolis. They find themselves in a massive city seeking a drink and a warm bed.
For background plot for us, Agathios, Thalen, and us are in a tavern. Agathios has just saved our lives from sinking from a ship. We've paid Thalen for his journey for us, and I assume to just tie a knot, we would come across Kusetsu, a refugee in that tavern.
Yeah. The main question I have, and I've pulled up a map of Absalom, is I'm assuming that you all came to Absalom via the docks, right? Like you sailed in, got off. My question...
We didn't get off. We crashed in the, what do you call it? The Flotsam Graveyard.
Yeah, I got shipwrecked.
Yeah, so the
Oh,
Flotsam
okay. That's
our
right.
shipwreck went down. So I
The
assume
copper barge
we
is
would
sunk.
swim. We would swim to the closest land, which would probably be, would say, the puddles.
I think you would have been picked up. I'm going to go ahead and assume that the city guard in the most heavily trafficked port in the world, a contingent of the guard would have actually picked you up out of the water and brought you, well, I guess wherever you want to go. There's the puddles and the docks.
We landed the docks, and I did my best to cheer Thalen up by giving him a stick.
Hooray!
So then that leads to my next question, because there are many, many taverns in Absalom. And
as a merchant, I think Thalen would know where to go. We would question him what to do. And
goodness,
where can we go to drink?
And so, to kind of help answer that question and give you some information, Thalen, I'm assuming you're fairly familiar, your character would be rather familiar with Absalom.
No, it's his first trip all the way down here. He was.
That's right.
In
That's
Brevoy.
right.
Yeah.
Never mind. So I guess you guys just start asking around for where's a good tavern.
Yeah.
We just got shipwrecked.
As we're trying to push Phelan along because he's depressed for losing his life.
Take me back to my boat.
It's gone, my friend. I'm sorry.
So I can give you. I'm going to give you some real one-sentence descriptions of the districts just to kind of focus where you end up. Just because I think the tavern choice is interesting. So where you guys start out, the docks it's the shipping hub. North of the docks is the coins district. This is where the largest open-air market in the world is. So as you can imagine, it's a market hub. The foreign quarter is where all the foreigners are. I'm going to say the Ivy and Petal districts are super high-end. That's where the richest and hobnobbiest of people live. The Precipice Quarter is not worth talking about right now for reasons that I don't want to get into too deeply, but may be relevant later. Basically, half of the Precipice Quarter collapsed in a giant landslide, so there's not really any taverns there. The Puddles is poor. Go figure. And then...
It sounded like a gated community to me, but...
The Puddles?
Yeah.
I mean, it's gated so that nobody can get out. I think those are probably the places where you would start. Those are the likely places to go find a tavern.
Just for reasons of being around the city, most of my communication will be done through Agarthios. I'll be using telepathy to talk to Agarthios's mind directly, and he'll be communicating for me.
God damn, I need to read this entire Absalom book someday.
I know, you linked it to me, and I was like, I'm going to read this, and then...
You realized it was 300, almost 400 pages long?
Oh, yeah, and then I was thinking, well, like, not much is going to be done here. It's all going to be in this little, town that we're going to learn of, and it's good if I don't know anything about it, because we're moving over there, so the less I know, the better. But I really
So I can give you a couple of taverns that you've probably heard of.
We'd probably ask someone on the docks, like, where to go. This poor man is in need of a good stout drink.
So let's see here. So if you're looking for the closest possible tavern, that would be the Grog Pit in the docks. But they also mention, since you guys obviously didn't come from here, there's a tavern called the Wounded Wisp in the Foreign Quarter, which is really popular with visitors and with adventurers. And there is the Crimson Coin in the Foreign Quarter as well, which is kind of like a rockier one.
Probably go to the Foreign Quarters, and would probably so adventurers, we might be able to find someone to beat undead and help us. You happy going to the Foreign Quarters at Garfields?
Undead? I'm here to do paintings and visit things and see things.
You know why I'm journeying. Please. What about me?
What about me?
What about me and my needs?
Yeah, isn't that guy like playing in RSLs now? Because it's like he only had the one good song. Shannon Nolan's name.
The Foreign Quarters, that is where we will rest up and recover from being submerged in the ocean.
Oh, me and Karak really wanted to go to the Ponzi district just to offend every patron there.
Beer's too expensive in the Ponzi district.
Can we just get a drink in the cheap place first, just to soak the whistle?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Bar crawl!
He would have just like gone and ordered like tea and then completely fail at drinking it because he's a fucking giant monster lizard.
Alright, so we'll set ourselves up in the Foreign Quarters. It's like, get the ball rolling.
Oh, man. So I will say, oh my god, I have to come up with new names now. Sorry, my brain just completely blanked. So Gathios, you can definitely stop off at the Grog Pit in the docks to just like start the bar crawl. This place is a wonderful combination of Flophouse and a place where you sneeze. And also, you get the impression that if you ever want to buy any sort of drug or illicit service, just looking around as you come in, this is not a bad place to get started in such an endeavor. Oh my god, the background on this place is hilarious. I did not expect this to have 4 paragraphs of background. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, but if you want to get a drink there, it's not very good. And you get the impression that you should leave soon before people start trying to fight you, steal you, or proposition you.
Wait, they're gonna steal the Garfields? Interesting.
Steal from you.
Oh.
Steal from you.
Take the Sprite.
Where's my kidney?
Do you think a Sprite kidney is worth more or less than a normal kidney?
I only walked in here for 5 seconds, my kidney!
Yeah, it grows back.
How did they even know where my kidney was?
Yeah, that's obvious.
Stab around in a tail, you'll get something in there eventually, right?
This isn't Monster Hunter, it's not in the fucking tail.
Of course the kidney's gonna be in the tail.
Wait, are there kidneys and tails in Monster Hunter?
That's where you get all the special parts and stuff.
That's
you
where
need to craft weapons.
That's where the pee comes out of Agarthios. That's where the kidneys surely will be.
It's not right at the end.
No, but like your tail is half your body. You're a snake.
Okay.
I assume you
I don't know
don't
how
piss out of your,
snakes work.
I assume you don't
So I think
piss out of your thorax.
well, everybody else is debating where precisely the kidneys are in Agathion. When Ninkarak and Brawin get to town, I think you would both know the Wounded Wisp in the Foreign Quarter is somewhat legendary as the founding place of the Pathfinder Society, supposedly. And so I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brawin, you would have some inkling that maybe going there to find people who want to be adventurers might not be a bad idea to find people.
Seems reasonable.
Okay. So I'm assuming you guys somehow, due to the fates of convenient game mastering, are here on the same day. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to assume that Brawin and Ninkarak, you guys are actually already at the Wounded Wisp. The rest of you, as you make your way after deciding that you're not quite sure where Agathion's kidneys lie and that surgery is not a good way to find it out, eventually, after asking around and getting some directions in the Foreign Quarter, are pointed towards the Wounded Wisp, which is a kind of short, squat, and dark building with barred stained glass windows. And as you enter it, it's kind of the definition of a dive bar.
I feel like you need to state that we more slither into it because 50% of us are not really walking.
I'm not gonna try to keep track who's
Stop us
trotting,
from being annoying.
slithering, loping, galloping, cavorting,
Stomping.
stomping, flitting.
I feel like my corgi would be stomping. He's a little bugger.
I think. And does Dusty flit? Is that the correct verb for movement? Okay.
Yes, Dusty
Yeah.
would be flitting along it.
You
but
all-
for right now, because I'm in a city and surrounded by people I don't trust, I would be hiding behind, in Agarthios' hair, like holding on tight.
Why would a snake have hair?
Have you not seen him? He's
He's got luscious white hair.
Oh.
So he's a sacred Nahaji. He's got the upper body of a human, a lower part of the snake, and he's considered beautiful for his people because he's all white.
Oh. Well, that's
you never
racist.
read the Sacred Nahaji, you never considered the sacred. You never read the Sacred Nahaji. They're very, like, considered in high esteem for their people.
So much like many cultures around the world, they have a problem with overemphasizing lightness of skin color.
Yeah, I think for snakes, being a white scale is rare.
It's an albino, they're more valuable as pets. They're collectors.
Don't make that into a handbag, though.
Do you have kind of like off-color zebra spots?
Yeah, I guess so.
Ooh. Well, if you look at the shaded parts, there's actually some modeling on Agath.
I think that's meant to be the shading of the
shadow of the leaves.
Shadow of the leaves, yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think he actually has a pattern in his scales. And I like how the branches.
Oh yeah, the bigger spots. Yeah.
Yeah, they're hidden. They're hidden in the.
That's pretty
in the
nice.
white. Yeah, they are. They are. There's like a little pattern in it.
But they're there on his skin and the left arm too.
Oh yeah, see, it's all
again,
over him. The skin
I
is.
think it's a pattern in
too.
the shadow. Oh, it's from the water. They're over a reflecting pool of water. That's water.
Oh yeah.
Wow. There's more. There's layers to this picture, man. Wow. It's not just an anime snake boy. There's extra stuff going on here.
I'll move this over so people. Snake
Anyway.
boy.
Well, you all take your preferred method of locomotion into the bar. It's actually fairly sparsely populated right now. There's a handful of people sitting around. The most notable pair of individuals in here are a very fearsome looking reptilian man. Gonna have to actually look this up because everybody would know this. And oh, it's just lizard folk. Okay, there's not a funny name for it. Fair enough. So yeah, there's just a very intense looking lizard folk individual seated next to a halfling at the bar. And I would assume, Bronwyn, you're kind of like scanning for people coming in. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yes.
And I think Bronwyn is...
For like sake, can we say they're talking to Kasetsu or something already? 'Cause we need to get her in here, into this somehow.
Oh, sure. You've already been chatting up a catfolk barbarian, I believe Kosetsu is. Am I correct there? Yes! You've already chatted up a catfolk barbarian. Her name is Kosetsu. She's definitely interested in whatever adventure you're selling, Bronwyn. But I think as this motley crew of individuals comes through the door, your spirits raise as you think you might have made your mark for finding somebody to come back with you to Otari.
Great.
And all y'all's in the bar.
Yeah. I will greet them. Welcome.
Hello.
Then I'm gonna like press on the back of Wanderer's neck and then say hello.
Hello.
You look like you've had a long day.
The funny thing is, like, Forge probably wouldn't be
You're
able to see
not-
my
you're
character.
not
so
wrong,
you,
yeah.
just,
Say
you
that.
just say hello twice.
I was gonna say, it's like, what's your name? Agathion Agathia, or Agathios Agathios. How are you feeling? Okay. Sorry.
You funny snake, man.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
been a long day. I keep getting me something strong and some peanuts.
Good idea.
Ninkrak offers his chalice, which is filled with what looks like blood.
Is that alcoholic blood?
No. It's enchanted. It refills itself every 10 minutes.
Are you kidding me? They give me all of these names of NPCs, but they don't give me... Oh, Heron Gale. Sorry. So the bartender's name is Heron. And
Okay.
he's happy, Agathios, to start serving you. He'll look to everybody else and say, anybody else getting a drink?
Yes, please.
I'm gonna press on Agarthios' head. I want a shot glass of milk.
And a shot glass of milk as well, please.
Heron
Ninkrak's
will
just
just-
very confused and looking at him. Like, the fuck is happening?
Heron will just raise an eyebrow and say, okay. And then he'll take everybody else's order and start getting your preferred beverage from the supplies he has. He'll bring them back, and they're fairly decent. Not bottom of the barrel, but also not exceptional, but surprisingly good for the visual cues you'd get from the bar.
So, Bravo, I ask, are you looking for work?
What sort of work do you have in mind?
Well, a friend of mine is hiring adventurers to go look at ruins because she's suspicious of things that are going on there.
Ruins.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Scared
press,
of ghosts.
we're gonna press
Yes.
on Agarthios' neck again and go, ask him how much is he getting paid, and also pass me the shot glass of milk.
So, what's the pay like for this? How far away is this ruins?
So it's outside a town called Otari, which is what we say a half day away from Epsilon.
Hmm.
Agathios lifts a little shot glass and pushes it into his hair, weirdly.
I think I'm going to say most of a day.
Okay. So
Just
it's
for the
about a
sake
day
of-
away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll a perception check because I want to know why the fuck Agarthius is putting a shot glass in his hair.
I just want to say you hear a slurping sound coming from under Agarthios' hair.
Is that high enough? Because I think that's a 19 to like check if there's like something in his hair.
I do not adjudicate player versus player interactions.
Oh,
Yeah, I
No,
would have
it's
thought
not-
19 should be enough.
It's not really a
I'm not like trying to fight him. I'm just like
no. He's
wanna
just
see
trying to
what's
see
there.
if he noticed. Do you think it's fair that he sees something in the hair with a
Oh, you're
19?
gonna
This
make
is up
me-
to you. This is
Oh.
up to you. This is completely up to you.
You're gonna make me DM? God damn it. Sorry, I have to relook at my DC level chart. Because we've been at the other end of it for so long. Yes, you absolutely notice a sprite hiding out in Agathion's hair.
Why a little man in there? And he'll just like point a big clawed finger at your hair.
You know, I press on Agarthios' neck. I'm like, he's looking at me.
Yeah, we'll come out then. Say hello.
How do I... This damn map.
Do I have to?
Yes.
So this looks like she's talking to herself because I'm doing telepathic communication.
Yeah,
so.
well, Ninkrak is still pointing at you. Like he hasn't dropped his hand or anything.
I'm gonna. So
But
I've got my
what's
to describe to use guys. It looks like I'm holding it looked like you would be holding like a whole barrel, right? I've got this shot glass, like my hands wrapped around it. I'm just gonna walk out to the edge of the hair so I'm exposed. Well, obviously I was slurping this thing, and then lean out, and I'm gonna put the glass down because I can't hold it without my hands being around it, and put it down on Agarthios' shoulder, and then I'm just going to wave. And then I'm going to pick it back up, and then I'm going to go back under the hair.
Who are you, little sprite?
Sorry?
I didn't hear what you
Asked
said.
who are you, little sprite?
So I'm going to press down on Agarthios' neck again, and then say, Dusty.
His name is Dusty.
Not Dusty though. Why his name that?
I don't know.
Then speaking through telepathy again, I'm going to be saying, it's my name that I earned through my magical powers.
Because he's very magical or something. That's not much of a reason.
Yeah.
It'll do.
Ninkrak's not the brightest, so it's good enough for him.
So
How
getting
deep
back to
can I be into a bottle of whatever spirit is cheapest around here by now?
So the
How long do you, so like this conversation that we've been having? How much do you think you could drink in this conversation we've just been having?
They're just downing shots.
Yeah, I'm still only a quarter through my first shot, so go easy, man.
So the job's offering is the shopkeeper who's willing to hire us is willing to offer us discounts at her oddity shop and support us in whatever way she can beyond that, and then we get whatever we find in our investigations at the Gauntlet Lighthouse. I think I called it correct.
Said many shinies inside.
Intriguing. Are the ruins picturesque?
Big.
Might have me interested there. I'm a big fan of painting.
And then
I'm gonna-
Ninkrak will say, me fan of painting too, and then he'll show you his book that he's been writing in or taking notes. and it'll just be a stick figure of the sprite.
And Garthios will look at them and smile and nod.
Sweet. Nickrock will go back to his drawing.
I'm gonna press down. Like these guys seem stupid enough. They could be strong enough to help us.
I'll say, don't be rude, quietly.
We can't hear him, so I'm guessing.
No,
Yeah.
it's telepathic communication. So. I'm gonna then speak to you again, Wanderer, and say, see how Phelan's doing.
How are you doing, Thalen?
Oh,
He's not doing so well.
Drowning himself in liquid.
Well, he's not. He didn't seem very receptive when I gave him a stick.
Do you want some peanuts?
yes.
Why do you drink so much?
He starts sobbing into the peanuts.
Nickrock will look at the peanuts suspiciously and then grab a handful and eat them. Don't feel sad yet. Why are you so mad? Or why are you so upset?
Why are you mad?
My business venture, my fortune, it's all there at the bottom of the thing.
Then go get it.
I can't get it. I can't unsink a ship.
Humans can't swim so good. I understand.
Snake Man's like, I swim very well.
You can't lift out a ship. Even Snake Men have their limits.
He's not going to lift out the ship, but he means that you can get the stuff from the ship.
I'm gonna.
There are like gears churning in Palin's drunk head right now.
I'm just gonna press on Wanderer and
Perhaps
say,
I could hire the fish man to rescue my copper.
Agathios, mention the fact that isn't there a story of a human who brought this whole island up from the ocean? You have to convey that to them.
Isn't he a literal god now, though?
He's a veteran.
Yeah,
You still have to convey that to them.
Range.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to give him hopes. You're trying to pass on hope to
He's
Thalen.
gonna make a mumbling noise and not really say anything. And eat some peanuts.
So maybe investigating the gauntlet would help restore your fortunes so that you could pursue future business ventures afterwards.
Yes. Perhaps I could, if we remember where the boat is, perhaps I could put together a team of aquatically gifted individuals
I like how most of this team's aquatic except for me.
Yeah, pretty much.
and get a new barge.
Even
Pretty
better
sure
one.
Browerwood's not going to breathe water anytime soon. So
Well, we can get you a snorkel or something. I don't know.
I think by that time I'll have air bubble. I'll give him an air bubble. He can go down.
Yeah, true.
Anyway.
Yes, it's brilliant.
Well,
so what did in your ship?
Did we ever agree on that?
Huh?
Did
What
we
was
ever
the-
I thought it was
agree
a
on
big
what sank
storm
the
or
ship?
something.
Yeah, it
We-
was a big storm, but I don't think we'd settled on what caused it.
no. Originally, we were planning that I was like going to have a magical mishap while we are going in and then sunk it, but then you didn't want to do that because that's going to be too.
I'd be too resentful of you.
Yeah.
I
So
can't
then,
imagine you'd be like, hey, you sunk my ship and destroyed my life. Do you want to go adventuring together? It's like, what?
I thought we were going to do.
Was
we
it
were
going to be
do
Kassetsu's god or something?
the god of the ocean?
Yeah,
Whatever
the
it
god of the winds.
It could be. It's up
Just
to you.
really screwed me over. Yeah, look, the gods struck my boat down with a poorly timed tempest as I crossed the lake.
You could just blame the gods. You could because I think most people who have shipwrecks generally blame the god of the ocean.
Yeah,
right?
sailors are all notoriously superstitious.
Yeah.
Clearly, only divine intervention could have sunk my boat, not
Not my
gross
poor theory.
incompetence.
It tracks, so.
Everybody knows that's the only reason boats ever sink.
Yep. Like the Titanic was sabotaged by God, not because the dude decided to, a lot of really stupid course.
If you can't Tokyo drift about the Arctic, where can you?
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
So yeah, explain your story, Dylan. Then.
Yes. I'll explain it.
I
I thought we had.
I guess that's good enough. I guess. Does that answer your Forges? Does that answer your question, Brawlin?
Yeah.
I'm gonna press on Garfield's neck. Make sure you grab their names.
I'm ruined, but I'm filled with a liquor and a glimmer of hope.
Time-honored tradition of drown your sorrows.
Ask their names. I'm like pressing on your like telepathy. Ask their names. We don't know who they are.
Did we already introduce ourselves? Or did we not do that?
I don't think
You introduce yourselves. Well,
Yeah,
kind of.
you asked who.
Yeah, we asked you who you guys were, but you didn't ask who we were. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll do that now. Explain yourselves.
Meet
Explain yourself.
Yes, nice to make your acquaintance, my hydrodynamic-looking friend.
You use long words, funny man.
And I am Brawlin.
Aquadynamically curvaceous.
He doesn't know what any of those words mean, but they sound nice.
I'm like press into Agarthius's neck. I'm like, the lizard man looks scary, but the halfling looks nice. The halfling?
Yep, it's halfway.
Gathius just goes,
Well,
Okay.
So I'm gonna like walk back out to the edge of Agarthius's shoulder and tap him to take the shot glass off me and put it down.
okay.
is that enough? Being cut off.
You want a peanut?
I'll take it.
And crumbs in my hair.
So we've had the
Seasoned
offer.
with ears of disgraced bourgeoisie.
Lovely.
He was saying, sorry.
So we've had the offer of the job. It sounds like folks are interested in it. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Over drinks and shot glasses of milk and maybe 1 or 2 peanuts, which fills me to the brim. We discuss proposition of heading back to this locale with this catfolk barbarian, which all sharing terrible stories of, and naturally, me and Kasetsu's character would probably build a bond after a little time about hatred of undead.
Hatred of undead, and she has fur as opposed to hair. So there's that. You can pick your humanoid mount. So I think it comes out as you guys are discussing and drinking that Otari, to retcon something I just said, it's about 75 miles away by foot on road, which takes 2 to 3 days. You could also, in theory, try to hitch a ride on a boat or hire a boat to take you there. That would cost actual money and would get you there in a day or two, depending on the winds at the time you go. So I guess as a group, how do you guys want to get back to Otari?
I think on foot would be better because we've got a guide to go through the forestry. Surely that would speed it up because you know of natural pathways, maybe.
And we don't have a ton of spare money at the moment.
It's true. Nick Rock will just show his 2 gold coins left.
I guess it would really depend on the cost of the boat trip. Because if a day's rations is cheaper.
I think 2 days of rations would be cheaper than a boat trip. But
And I think I could probably forage with decent survival skill.
the thing I'd be most worried about would be the traumatic experience of putting you on a boat just after you've lost.
Not again.
No.
He gets flashbacks and crashes the next one as well.
Yeah, like literally, unfortunately, his second ship crashes. He's like forever cursed to go out in the ocean, and his boats just sink.
I don't even want to think about that now. We're land
I'll never get
lubbing.
on another boat again.
So I think it would discussing. You're able to surmise, maybe even just by asking the bartender, that hiring a boat to take you there would probably cost anywhere between 50 silver to a gold or two, depending on the conditions. Just to give you an actual price for that.
Yeah, I'd press on Agarthius's head when we're at the vendor and say, like, if we do want to pay, I would happily pay 2 gold or whatever we need to get there if we want to make it quicker. Ask the halfling.
Maybe it'd be better just to make our way there on foot.
That's how we got here in the first place. So
Or not on foot in my cases. Anyway.
On belly?
Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds like a couple votes for on foot, so I'm just going to go with that. So then it is probably about early evening. So from a time perspective, I would assume you guys kind of head out in the morning to try and hopefully minimize having to camp out more days than necessary. Is that fair?
that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
I live in nature, so it doesn't really affect me. But
Yeah.
yes.
What do I owe the tavern keep, by the way? My brief but dramatic binge.
I'll just not worry about it. It's not an expensive tavern. Well, let's see here. How much do
I'll
drinks
throw a
cost?
silver at him anyway.
This is one of those things that usually we have so much money that I don't care about it. How much do drinks cost?
I did drink a shot glass of milk. The most.
Apparently, a keg of ale is 2 silver, or a bottle of wine is 1 silver.
So if you give him a silver, that's going to be a pretty... Well, I don't know. How much did you
Probably
drink?
went through a bottle. Yeah, look.
1 copper is the going price for a mug of ale. So...
Gold for bread.
milk is more expensive than ale, it turns out.
I'd
So
imagine
there's
in
that.
a city it would be. How fresh
'cause-
even was that milk?
It's hard to keep it fresh. There's no
I
refrigerator.
have so many questions. Are pixies lactose tolerant?
Does Pathfinder have lactate? So I don't know. Assuming you went on a significant amount of drinking, let's say you actually owe about 10 copper across the group for drinks. So if somebody wants to pay that, you can go ahead.
I'm just gonna.
I've already done it.
Oh, so you've paid for everyone?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like look at you as you pass money over for my milk. I'm just like all starry eyed.
So then I'll assume you guys head out towards Otari after probably sleeping off this wonderful bender you had, Thalen.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm just going to jump to the Otari page because you guys are going to make it there without too much trouble. The size of your group, Nin Karak kind of helping guide you along the roads, and when you should leave the roads, it takes 2 days to get there. Somewhere I have a calendar. Did I close it? Of course I did. There it is. So I'm going to move us forward 2 days. From a perspective of time, we are in the month of Desnus, which is kind of equivalent to early spring. And it is the 6th of Desnus, if time matters. But I am going to try and keep track of time as we go through things, just in case it does matter. And I do have a calendar set up. If you guys, looking at your kind of banner on the left side of the screen at the very bottom, I think there's one called Journal Notes. Do you guys see that?
Yep.
So if you open that, there's a sub option called Simple Calendar.
I see it.
That'll actually pull up the calendar in game. I don't have anything in there right now besides the calendar itself, but if stuff becomes important for dates or times, we can put notes in there. And I will try to keep track of time as things go on. Just, like I said, in case it matters. But I'll say towards the end of the second day, you guys make pretty good time. You're tired. Pretty beat from traveling at a very quick pace. You make it into the village of Otari. And as you approach, you kind of come in. If you zoom in on the map a little bit, on the east side, there's the South Coast Road. So as you come into the town, the first most imposing feature you see as you cross the bridge on the little river coming into town, there's this giant aqueduct that you can hear heavy sounds and sloshing from. I think Brawin, you probably, I'm just gonna put some words in your mouth, but you explain that that's a logging aqueduct that's been created by the town to help transport raw tree trunks and lumber to the city. And then as you guys pass under it and follow the road to get closer into town, you rapidly realize that the town of Otari itself is kind of nestled in between two cliffs that surround a natural semi-protected harbor in here. The main area of the town has a bunch of shops. There's a couple very large manor-style houses. And you can make out as you come down the hill and enter into the town, there is a large temple that kind of juts out from the cliffs at the southwest corner of the town. And I think that is about what I want to explain about it as you guys come in. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the kind of geography of the town as you come in?
Not really. We'll get familiarize with it more later.
So the whole town's kind of in this little valley then?
Yeah. So it's nestled into this natural valley between two cliffs. Like the river kind of cuts down and the road follows the river. So it's
just like a wide ravine.
Yeah. It's just a nice protected area, and the bulk of the town, like the commerce, has all been built up here. I think you guys would have also gathered on the road. The town's not that big. It's maybe 1,000 people, maybe a few more, but most of the people actually live outside of town. And the town is built around a combination of a couple of very prominent logging families, a lot of farmers, and then a little bit of trading and fishing. But primarily the lumber industry is what is driving Otari these days. I guess for Brawin or Nin and Karak, would there be anything else you would want to share about the town of Otari before you guys get here?
Brown will answer questions, but I don't think unless they have something specific, I don't think he's gonna know what to tell them, so he's probably just gonna keep quiet until they ask him something.
Yeah. He would suggest, though, Ninkrak would suggest to maybe head towards, what's her name again? Chikuhide.
Rin?
Oh, Rin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rin.
Yeah, we'll get, when we enter town proper, we'll go there, and he'll point out significant buildings along the way. She's on the north side of town, so, I mean...
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna, while we're asking questions as we're walking towards town, I'm going to press onto Wanderer's neck and say, "Could you ask them if there's accommodation outside of town? I don't really like this place. It's got a lumber mill."
What?
You have to ask that question for me.
He doesn't have to. What?
I'm asking if there's accommodation outside of town.
Can't you just live in a tree or something?
That's what I'm asking.
What if they log it?
Then I'll kill them.
No.
You're at
I
level one,
don't
you're
really
not
want to
coming in.
ask that. It sounds stupid.
Do you want accommodation outside of town? Is that what? Do you actually ask that or no?
Yes, that's what I was asking. Wanted to ask for, but she has to convey that
Why can't you say it?
because I don't trust you all yet.
Great,
Not
he'll
that
be in
bad.
town.
Yeah, well, yeah, too bad. Until Wandering Voices up, yeah, too bad.
And because I'm just like gonna press on Wanderer's neck and just like harass her brain until she says something. But yeah, that's it.
Is there any accommodation outside of town? My little friend is asking.
You live outside town.
So we could talk to.
Ninkruk
The-
lives with his
the short
tribe,
answer. The short answer is no. There is not
Oh.
a tavern or inn outside of town. Everything's.
No,
This valley
but-
is the town.
But
Yeah.
we could talk to Whirlwind, or how you pronounce it, to see if she has any like accommodations for people who don't want to be staying in town themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you could point out that there is a druidic circle outside of town. So
Yeah.
if you would be more comfortable there, the druidic circle is actually if you look at the map to the northwest, there's a pond surrounded by stones. That is the local.
Oh.
Druidic. It is the Stone Ring Pond is what it is called.
Right, and it's being taken care of by a gnome named Whirlwind, or Whirlywind.
Warlywin.
Pressing on Agathios. Could you tell him that sounds perfect? I'd like to stay with the druids. I don't like the logging camp inside. If we go to rest here.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. No, I'm gonna be right back in just a second because I'm assuming you're gonna go to Rin after that, and I will be right back to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Rin first.
No one would probably see, but my character is just like as we're walking down the road past the logging encampment, like and the funnelway for the logs to go down the water, just like daggerily looking at it.
See, Forged, I didn't say I have to think about that. I just said I'm going away for a minute. Okay, so as you guys, I'm assuming you come into town and you'll go to the Druid Circle when it's time to actually go to sleep. As you come in the town, kind of on the main pathway, I don't have hold to ping down. Okay, I'll have to fix that. So there's a... What?
Oh, sorry, never mind.
Did you say the guard captain, dude?
Yeah, well, I assumed who was gonna stop us as we're going into town.
No is the answer.
Oh.
I don't think you guys look terribly suspicious, and there's a couple of people who are known. So, like you, Nin Karak are known, Rawin's known, so you're not really a suspicious party, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, plenty of people come here from Absalom on business. You kind of have to. You would know that you have to have a certain level of suspicion to you before you get the guard captain to stop
Yeah,
being
before the guard starts harassing you.
before he's an ornery bastard for no apparent reason. What was his name? He has a really stupid Lardis Longsaddle. Yeah. Longsaddle doesn't really go out of his way to hassle people, if that makes sense. Like,
But he's just a dick.
He's a bit of a dick, but he's not like he's a well-meaning dick.
I kind of consider him like one of those old curmudgeons.
He's a hard ass is maybe a better way to put it. It's more of a hard ass than a dick.
Okay. Yeah.
Did any of you ever listen to the Adventure Zone?
No.
Anyone? Oh.
Nope.
Sorry, they have this game they play now and then called the Dadlands, which is a joke on the Badlands. And every player character is a type of dad. And one of the types of dad is the hard ass. There's like the grill dads, the hard asses. Anyway, as you come into town, to describe it a little bit, as you come down the main street north into town, you pass a large warehouse / stable yard. And as you pass it, that is Galantine Deliveries, which looks for all intents and purposes to be a rather the land-based way to do trade in this town. The stables have a couple of horses and some carts there. You can kind of get the sense that this is where all of the produce and food that comes in from the farms ends up. And then as you pass a couple of houses through there, you come down to the intersection with Ilvashti Street and Rowan. I'm assuming you'll kind of take them to the west around the corner and up to Rin's location. As you guys approach this shop, there's no sign indicating that this place is a shop, and there's actually no building indicating that it's a shop. The location consists of a ring of standing stones in about a 60-foot diameter tucked in behind all these buildings. And they are all kind of connected and covered with bits of canvas to create the feeling of a roof and walls. But there is no actual building here. And the sun is setting in the harbor and kind of coming over the rooftops, illuminating this place rather interestingly. And we will see if we have a nice image of this person. Nope. Not there? Okay, fair enough. Do I get handouts?
There's a picture of her.
Here we go. I found it. So as you guys come in here, as you guys get closer, you also realize that the stones here are actually not real. They're made out of painted cloth and wood. So just a very interesting looking place. And set into some of these structures are little cubbies or display cases, kind of showcasing items. And as you guys are coming into this, you are approached by a tiefling's the wrong word now, but I'm going to go with tiefling. A rather tall tiefling woman comes up and sees Browin and Ninkarak, and rather excitedly says, "Oh, you found some adventurers? This is fantastic. Welcome to my shop. Please," she'll gesture you all the way in, where there's a little table with some chairs in one collection of these fake stones, and say, "Please sit. It's late. I'm assuming you've been walking all day. Are you thirsty? I can get you something to drink. Please come in."
Yeah, that'd be great.
And she'll
Igrak just sort of salutes with his chalice again.
she'll go over to the sideboard and grab a bottle of wine and a pitcher of water off of a table and grab some glasses and bring them out for everybody.
We're also going to need a shot glass.
Yeah, for a full cat.
We have a Sprite with us.
Okay. She'll look around. I'm assuming doesn't see the sprite because you're hiding in Agathios' hair still.
Little bug man hide in hair a lot.
Okay.
Little men.
Did they go
Yeah,
away?
he does.
Oh. Okay. So she'll rummage around and find
Oh, I was like
the
reading
smaller
something.
glass. You're good.
That's right. Ninkra called you a bug man because he doesn't know what you are.
But she'll grab a smaller glass. I don't know if she actually has a shot glass, but she'll grab it and bring it
Maybe a
over.
thimble.
A thimble. That's a great idea. And she will rummage around and find a thimble, and bring one over. And say, please, have a drink. Ninkrok, I think I owe you. And she'll go back to the counter that looks like it's where she does her business and grab some coins. You can add 1 gold and 50 silver to your inventory. Which may not seem like much, but is a pretty good fee for finding
He's
some
happy.
people at this point. Yeah. And she'll say, thank you for helping Brawin. Please make yourselves comfortable, refresh yourselves, and then we can talk.
So where did the thimble of drink go?
Into your hands.
Presume you have it, yeah.
All right. Well, I was just making sure like how it got past to me.
Oh. With great care.
Yes.
She hasn't seen you yet, so she didn't give it to you. It's just sitting on the table.
I
Oh, there we
passed it around the back.
Oh, you're passing it to me. I'll
Yeah.
just rummage through the back of Argothius's hair to make a little part, and then like a little hand will come out.
Just drop it in there.
How often does Agathios have to wash his hair now because they've got a pixie living in it?
All the time, I reckon.
Yeah, I think every day. I mean, it's pretty luscious. The plus is a pixie living in it, so.
Yeah, like with the right angles, if I tie a little knot back here, I can make like a little hammock.
Tying knots in his hair. Wow, what an asshole.
Yeah, that's gotta be unpleasant.
The pixie dust is good for the hydration.
I explode in pixie dust quite often.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that would be a bit hard to wash out.
Speaking
Okay.
of that, I've decided to make my character's catchphrase, "Don't make me spray you," because I'm going to be like.
Why?
Oh.
Suddenly,
Because
every enemy you face is going to have AoE spell casting. I like how it doesn't. I do like how it doesn't auto time out the images anymore. That's nice. Anyway, so as you guys settle in, Rin will eventually say, "Well, my name's Rin, Rin Savinji, and this is my shop. I'm assuming Browen told you that I was looking for some folks to do some investigating for me." And she'll kind of look at you, Browen, and the rest of you to confirm that this is true.
Yes. Mentioned you wanted us to investigate the gauntlet.
Yes, absolutely. I know a few of you know about this, but do the rest of you know anything about the gauntlet here or the town of Otari?
Afraid I know precious little.
No, I don't know anything.
Right, and then pressing on Agathios, I'm like, no, I don't know anything about this terrible wood choppy place.
So you're just having Agathios like fucking repeat himself, except, you know, with like
Only whatever she says. If she doesn't say it, then I'm just speaking to Agathios. Whatever she conveys, what I say, I guess.
Dusty also does not know much.
It's a little rude
Dust-
to hide from your employer.
Dusty is is the sprite hiding behind your head? Anyway,
Yeah.
okay,
It
well,
appears
You can respond to questions any way you like, Wanda. If you want to respond, you can respond. You don't have to wait for me to tell you as well.
Yes, the pixie is very shy and is hiding in my hair.
okay, well, I have horns and a tail, but I don't bite, so there is that. So if you want to come out, feel free. If you'd rather stay, that hair does look amazing. I'm gonna have to talk to you about how you keep it looking so nice, but I guess I could understand wanting to stay there. Anyway, well, I can give you a little bit of information. Brown, I know you kind of love this topic. Do you want me to give the quick brief, or you want to do it? Either way, I'm happy to do it, but you always get so excited with lore. Do you want me to tell him, or do you want you to tell him about the Rose Guard?
I suppose.
Okay,
So
do you want to give a... Go ahead.
So the Rose Guard. So originally, before the town was founded, there was a sorcerer living here at the Gauntlight, Belcora Horrex, which I'm not pronouncing correctly.
Yeah, and the Gauntlight's a light tower. Just kind of confusing words, but the Gauntlight's a light tower. It's about 20 or 30 minutes outside of town, if you walk there.
They eventually learned of the sorceress and all the trouble she was creating in the area, and they came here and slew her. They cleared out the Gauntlight, and then they slew her, but they cost one of their own in doing it. The heroes were named as a company the Rose Guard, and the hero that passed away was Otari Ilvashti.
Yep.
One of Atari's goals was to actually settle down, and so the rest of the group decided to make it settle here. And the settlement did okay while they were alive, and then it faded. And then one of the descendants of the Rose Guard adventurers came back and sort of founded the town, and it's been doing much better since then.
Yeah. So to give you to fill in a couple other bits of information for you guys, just so that you kind of know what I'm sending you towards. Otari Vashti was the hero who died, defeating that sorceress. The descendant that Browen is talking about shall point up to the cross-shaped building on the far east side, kind of overlooking the whole town, kind of where my mouse is. That's Menhemez Manor. Osef, the mayor, lives there. He's a great descendant of the Menhemez, a cleric who was part of the party that came here to put an end to Belcora. There were also the Rajanis. One of their descendants is here too. Carmen, he's the local blacksmith. And then the final individual was Zarmadian, I believe.
That's
Damn
correct.
Yeah. And so those were the four heroes. Only the God damn it. See, I told you this was going to happen. Really, it's just the Menhemez and the Rajanis who have descendants still living here. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on with the city. The Gauntlight itself, the lighthouse, most of the locals think it's full of monsters or goblins or maybe kobolds or something, and I think that's true. But I think there's something more to that lighthouse. There have been weird lights coming from it, and rumors of things happening in the woods. So I've been trying to find some group of people to go up to the lighthouse and start figuring out if it's just, normal monsters or if there's anything else going on up there. And check it out, basically. This town's been great to me since I came here, and so I just want to make sure I can do what I can to protect the town, even if it's just, having somebody clear out some minor infestation of something or other. So that's why I asked Bronwyn and Ninkarak to bring you all here. I can offer you a little bit in the way of compensation. Either she'll gesture at the shop and say, I have lots of interesting items here. I can also pay you if you just want gold. But that's why I've brought you all here, to go check out this lighthouse and kind of see what's going on up there. Because I just want to make sure we're all safe here. Yeah, that's why I asked Brown to come find somebody. Do you have any questions about the lighthouse or the town or anything, or about how you want me to try and compensate you for all of this?
So I believe your assistant mentioned something along the lines of finders keepers policy for anything we might find in the lighthouse.
Oh, I'm definitely. I'm obviously, if you find anything interesting, I'd love to take a look at it. There's also in town, there's a bookseller, Morblint. I think Bronwyn, you probably know him better than I do, but I think Morblint, if you find anything kind of magical related, I know I would be interested in it. Morblint would probably be very interested in it as well, especially if there's any documents or texts remaining in the lighthouse. But obviously it's yours if you find it. If I was of the right constitution to actually delve in to what's going on up there, I'd have already claimed it. But no, absolutely, anything you find there is yours. Nobody has any claims on that lighthouse at this point. It's just, most of the town just considers it a empty ruin.
I guess like where everyone's talking, it's quiet. I'm just gonna slowly fly out and put the thimble down on the table, and then fly down next to Agarthios and pat Mooney, and then fly back up into the hair and hide.
Rin will say, you have just the most beautiful, delicate wings.
And I'll poke out the hair and just flicker them.
Then Kruk will look at Mooney and his stomach will grumble loud enough that everyone can hear it.
Time to first familiar death. And then I think just to give you guys a little bit more information about the town, I don't know if I want to do it all completely in character. There is a blacksmith. There is a local guard. As I mentioned, Morblint is a bookseller. Also, Morblint's shop is run by a couple. Morblint specials in the arcane stuff in the shop. His spouse, he specializes in the non-arcane stuff. There's also a pair of taverns in this town. There's a small market. Actually, there's technically 3 taverns in this town. And then there are 3 main families of note in the town. The first one is the Menhemez family that I talked about briefly. Osef Menhemez is the mayor of the town. There are two other kind of wealthy families in the town, the Inkelholtzes and the Churtles. Between the three of them, each of them is basically a logging magnate, or a minor logging magnate. And they are the kind of higher class folks in town. And then the last really big feature of the town is the library / temple down to the southwest. Just to give you guys some information about what's around in town. But past that, it is early evening. Rin's open to answer any questions you guys may have about the town or the Gauntlet, the lighthouse, or anything else you want to know. I'll kind of put it there. Any other questions you guys have right now about the town or the Gauntlet or anything like that?
I'm gonna fly down to Rin's hand and touch it and say into her mind, does this town worship the Lantern King? I've seen so many lanterns.
Let's see. You have telepathy, right? Like you can
Yeah.
telepathically talk to one person?
Only
Is
if
it-
I touch. Only by
Okay.
touch.
Is it two-way?
Look, I don't know.
I'm just curious. Might as well get it figured
I
out
do not
now.
know. I do not. I'm trying to pull up my character sheet.
Yeah. Sorry, I think I closed Hero Lab at some point.
I have to go to Hero Lab to find out. It's under the Draxi. I'm not a dog.
You're not a dog. Okay. Good to know.
So I don't know. I assumed it'd only be my way because it's you gain telepathy, touch telepathy.
Where does
As long as
Draxi
you
come
show
from?
up.
Lost Omen's Ancestry Guide. There we go. Do I have that book? I do.
It doesn't say anything about them. It says you are a fairy dragon tracing your heritage back to the mightiest Fey dragon. In the first world, you gain telepathy.
Touch telepathy.
Touch.
allows you to
Allowing you to
communicate.
communicate silently and purely mentally with any creature you're touching, as long as you share language.
Right,
That's
but
your-
it doesn't say anything about them being able to communicate back.
No, it just says me. It just says
Yeah,
you. It doesn't say
I'm
them.
relatively sure it doesn't, yeah. If it's like the familiar version, then yeah, they can only talk to you, but you have to talk to them back in whatever languages you speak.
Yeah,
Right,
I don't think
there we
they.
go.
I don't think they gain. They have telepathy.
Okay, cool. There's one way. I'm just going to say it's one way.
I think it's one way.
Just to set that down for now. So she'll, her eyes will kind of pop open as you're communicating to her telepathically. Her eyes are entirely white, by the way. There are no irises or pupils in her eyes. And she'll say, most of the folks here worship more practical gods. I've never seen anybody. I've heard of the Lantern King, but I've never seen anybody here worship them. You may want to check in at the library down on the coast. Vandy, the cleric who runs the library down there, may may know more if anybody's looked into that. But I don't think anybody here is following your kind of pattern of worship, if that makes sense.
And like I just communicate with them, what's the point of having so many lanterns?
Well, I'd assume so people can see at night.
Well, they can't see.
Well, most of the town's human, and most humans don't have that ability.
You don't
And she'll
know.
she'll look at you kind of confusedly, like, what?
I've got low light vision.
Yes.
Oh, you can't see at night. You don't have dark vision either. You would need a lantern to see at night.
Yeah, low light's not that good.
Well, yeah, well,
You can see in
like,
dim
sleep-
light, not
sleep-
darkness.
oh,
Yeah. Low light works in moonlight, but it's not going to help you at all in darkness.
Actually, does anybody have dark vision?
I'm actually curious.
I don't.
No, I don't.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, we finally got a party that actually doesn't have everyone. with dark vision.
Whoa! Nobody has.
I didn't
oh my
even bring
God.
light.
This is amazing. Nobody has dark vision. Oh my God! I'm so happy right now. This makes
My other DM
this-
fucking hates dark vision with a passion.
every DM hates dark vision with a passion because it kneecaps you on certain things that you can do. Because
He
every
died
adventure,
inside when he realized that the Pathfinder 2nd edition has like a full color version.
Yeah.
So there are a couple characters in our group that have low light vision, but that's
Yeah.
it.
but the low light vision in the darkness does nothing.
Yeah, but I feel like out in the forest, if it's dark, you can still see.
Like
it's not-
starlight or something, but
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, I don't need light to see in the dark. I just need it if it's like in total darkness. So like you consider like under the stars would be low light, right?
sure, if you're not under a tree canopy. But like if you're in a forest and it's dark, you're not going to see very many stars.
so this is where the calendar comes into play, because the calendar has moon phases, and I'll say as long as the moon is half full, it counts as dim light. But if it's less than half full and you're outside, it's going to count as darkness. So no, you would not be able to see in the middle of the night in the darkness unless you had like a full moon or a lot of moonlight going. Starlight is not dim light. Have you ever been outside at night when the moon is completely dark?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
not
but
dim
I live
light.
in the city, so I mean,
Well, yeah, you can see in Otari because Otari does have lanterns.
What if the
Um,
moon's out but there's thick clouds?
Well, then
Have we
you would
modeled that?
hold on. I have a control for this, don't I? Hold on. I can do this, god damn it.
May the DM account all in balance.
And it's blizzarding.
Oh my god.
No.
No, Blizzard was just the first one I found. Oh, Rainstorm? How does Rainstorm look?
Doesn't seem to
I-
change my screen.
It's kind of nice.
I would say if there's
I'm pretty sure I can upgrade to dark vision later though.
well, you can do that when you get there. Oh, here's a fun one. Autumn leaves. Even though I just said it was spring. So I'm going to turn autumn leaves off.
So what happens to all the lumber from here? Does it just get shipped off to Absalom?
Some of it goes to Absalom. Some of it goes to other places. Each of the three families that kind of run the lumber trade in town work out their deals. Obviously, we don't have the biggest dock here, so most of it goes to Absalom, but some of it goes elsewhere.
But it's like all for export. They're not running like a shipwright or something here.
No shipwrights. I mean, she'll gesture around. All of the buildings are locally sourced, to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, it's mostly an export business. Kordos has nice trees, I guess. Kordos is the island you guys are on right now.
Are these particularly nice trees? I'll have a look out.
It's decent lumber. It's not the rarest or most exotic, but as you were traveling here, you noticed a decent mix of sturdy hardwoods and useful softwoods that
Cool.
you could figure would all definitely be saleable for various uses. Is this where I have to ask if you're actually a carpenter in real life?
No, I'm afraid not.
We have one, right? Or do we have two?
Yeah.
Do we have one? Yeah. Sorry, I think Hypa and I have had weird discussions about wood because the American wood market and the Australian wood market seemed, to me at least, to be totally different.
We have a lot of eucalyptus around.
What is it you guys make decks out of?
Well, we mostly do it out of Merbau here in Queensland,
Merbau?
or Quila is its other name. It depends on where it's cut from.
Merbau. Oh, well.
Generally, Australian gum F14 hardwood is used for the bracing and the posts and everything because it's cheaper and it's pretty strong. And then you use a decorative timber like Merbau.
God. That's crazy that there's just like a hardwood that's cheaper than softwood to me. Anyway.
It's not that it's cheaper, it's just that it's so cheap that why wouldn't you go hardwood? So like
it's cheap enough.
Kind of like
It's
self-treating. It's eucalypt. It's really tough shit. So if you're gonna use it for posts, I guess it's good.
Oh, and it's dark too. God. Should I just move to Australia?
you're gonna move to Australia because we have cheap hardwood. That makes sense.
Might
Yeah.
have a little time selling your
Just
way
move
on
in,
that.
start making those resin tables.
I don't want to make a
America.
resin table. I want to make real fucking furniture, not resin tables. God damn it. If you want to make a live edge resin table, fine, but whatever. Sorry. Hardwood in America is fucking expensive. Doesn't matter what hardwood you get.
Yeah.
I think my favorite resin table didn't even need to be made of wood. It was just denim.
I think I saw that video. Like, it was like 5,000 pairs of denim or
Yeah,
whatever.
he used way too much denim. It could have been like 2 layers on plywood.
I didn't actually watch the whole video. Did he actually just layer denim and denim and denim and then
Yes,
pour? Oh my
He made
god!
so much fucking denim.
Why?
I don't
Yeah,
know, for the
just-
meme.
Take a good piece of hardwood, cover it in denim, and then coat it in polyurethane.
I gather his clientele are the kind of rich assholes who'd be like, "You see this? It's all denim."
No, it's got to be all denim. It's got to. If I were to take a saw to the. Okay, I'm completely wasting time by talking about woodworking. Anyway, sorry. I'm Schneebs. I do a lot of hobbyist carpentry, so it's one of those topics that I'm interested in. Okay. So we've ascertained that the lumber economy here is decent. Any other any other questions, concerns, comments before you guys find a place to stay for the night? Do you agree?
Yeah, well, will we get paid like a bounty if there are monsters there and we kill them?
So Rin kind of makes a weird face and she's like, "Well, I can pay you guys a little bit. I can't like give you a bounty per head. I could probably like offer you some gold to go check it out, or I could offer you a discount on items in the shop. I can also offer my services to you for free. I can do some. You would probably consider it fortune telling. I don't really consider it that. I think it's a bit more accurate, but I could do readings for you guys. If you have questions, if there's anything interesting up there. And she's looking a little pained right now because you're getting the impression that she doesn't have a ton of money. She just really wanted to get somebody to come here and go check the place out.
Now I feel bad.
Yeah, Ninkrak will pick up on that and said, We find many shinies in tower. Don't worry about that.
The
Fair enough.
discount and fortune telling will be, or
Oh, let's have a reading.
support will be good enough.
So to Thalen, she'll look to you and say, you want me to do a reading for you? I can only do them so often, but I'm happy to do one.
Well, you never know. Maybe it'll help us in the tower.
So she'll say, so what really helps my readings to be useful, is to have kind of a specific, and I'm sorry, we'll have to wait until the sun goes down. I can only do it when the stars are. It's kind of a whole thing. My divination only works when I can see the stars. But if you have specific questions in mind, the more specific your question is, the better I can do to try and get you an answer or information or some sort of feeling about what's gonna happen.
Has your readings in the past indicated anything going on with the lights beyond that they're happening, or is it just mostly you've observed the lights and you're just concerned about it?
So I'm just going to give you guys out of character. So here's what she's able to do, just so you know. If you pick a particular goal or activity you plan to do within a week, or an event that you think is going to happen within a week, you can learn a clue or piece of advice about that event or activity. So that's kind of how her omen reading works. So it's not going to give you like exact answers, but it will give you guidance. So to answer your question, Brawin, she says, I've tried to do a lot of readings on the tower. They come back mixed, but I keep getting a sense of foreboding or a sense of impending danger. I can't see too far out into the future. So I think whatever is happening is going to happen soon, but I can't pinpoint it much more than that. I don't have a crystal ball. I just have kind of feelings that I get from the caravan when they decide to speak to me.
Brolin nods.
I'm gonna touch her and then say I get the exact same feeling when I put a lantern in the right place. I understand.
She'll kind of nod to you in understanding. Sorry, Dusty. Sorry, I'm trying to relearn character names. I'm having a really hard time of it tonight. Wanting to say the wrong names.
You're about to call me Hyper, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. And of course, I have my little cheat sheet hidden by my cup of water. Brawin and I think Brawin much more. Ninkarak maybe. Brawin, you would know that her readings are generally useful, if not clear. Ninkarak, the question would be, have you really ever interacted with Rin before she hired you? Would you have had a reason to?
Sorry, say again?
Would you have had a reason to interact with Rin much before the events happening right now?
Not really. Like, he was kind of just an intermediary between the druids and, like, the town, I think. But he probably would have stopped by whenever he finds shit, I guess, see if she's interested.
Yeah, so I think you guys are probably, like, friendly. The druids, you would know the druids respect what she can do, but don't rate her terribly high. Like, they don't... Does that make sense?
Yeah, like they got their own methods of finding
Yeah.
out information. That we
Like
don't
oh
really
well,
want.
she's got some skill, but it's not like so like Whirlywin, which you would know Whirlywin, I think fairly well. It's like oh yeah, I mean it's a whole different thing, but she's got her thing, and it seems to be accurate. Anyway, so I just kind of building some knowledge that you guys have. That may happen a lot as we interact with people in town. I'll just kind of figure out as we go what's going on there. So yeah, back to Thalen. So she's basically wondering if you have any specific question or course of action that you want her to read against.
Oh, maybe I'll hold off on my reading for now. Maybe it'll be after the job.
Why don't you say, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, sorry, just the more focused your questions are, the more help I can be. And I can only do this once a night. So just bear in mind, if you guys have multiple questions or more than one thing you want me to do, you have to kind of pick on a given day how I ask the caravan what the future might hold. So the sun... Sorry?
He nods when she says we have to pick what questions we ask when.
Okay.
Keep
No, it's the joy of not sitting at a table.
Yeah.
So the sun is starting to go down. I think you're all pretty tired. As far as finding a place to stay for the night, there are two main taverns in town. There is the Rowdy Rockfish, which is a kind of like the general tavern. It's towards the south of town near the beach on the southwest side. There's also a place of, I would say, kind of a lesser repute on the bridge called the Crook's Nook. Both of those places offer rooms to rent for the night or for longer periods. So if you are looking for a place to stay, those are the two places that you could look at. And then I think, Dusty, you wanted to go to the Druid Circle, right?
Yeah, I'd rather be out in nature. I don't like being cooped up inside too much.
And then,
so Browin will take him there.
Ninkarak, do you usually stay in town, or would you go out and decide to come back later?
I don't know. Kind of imagine he'd just lodge wherever. If he's feeling particularly tired, he'd lodge in town, and if not, then he'd go back to either his village or. But I kind of imagine he's somewhat near the Druids.
You're probably pretty tired today because you guys made crazy time getting here.
So probably just crash in town.
Okay,
he would show you the way if he needed to. Like he'll point out where the Druids are because he does know them fairly well.
Where would your character want to stay as well, Wanderer?
Maybe I would stay at the Druid's place.
More artistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think generally speaking, outside of the library / temple, there's not a lot of art happening in Otari. It's not exactly a huge hub of
not the greatest nightlife.
Oh, it's got nightlife. It's just not high-class nightlife. After a long day of fishing, logging, trading, or farming, plenty of people show up to the taverns here. It's just not necessarily You're not getting Dandelion showing up every night to regale people with world-class barding. What's his other name? What was the name they gave him in the show?
Jasker?
Yasker. Yes, Yasker. That was his name in the show. That threw me.
I think it's the Polish word for dandelion.
Yes, it is. The other fun part is in all the audiobooks for The Witcher, they call him Dandelion.
The fuck?
That's so weird.
Which I liked because it was like they were kind of splitting the difference. Like it's not actually supposed to be dandelion, so they just called him Dandelion. Anyway. Okay, so then I'm assuming just to kind of get us through the night, Ninkarak and Agathios. Oh, I'm sorry, Agathios and Dusty. You guys are going up to the Druid Circle.
Yep.
And then I'm assuming everybody else is going to go to an inn. Is that fair?
Yes, me go in house.
Yeah,
Right.
you go in house.
I'll like press on Agathios. I'm like, well, let's go to the druids. Better outside. You sleep way more nicer. And say goodbye to Thalen and them for me.
So just to kind of wrap around what happens at the Druid Circle, when you guys get there, there is Warlywin, the gnome druid that runs the place, or oversees the place, I guess is a better term. She's happy to let you spend the night there. She also notes that she has to go do some things. So she kind of not being rude, but being very direct is like, I'm happy to have you stay here. I can talk to you more in the morning, but I have to go right now. So she heads out. But you guys are definitely welcome to stay there. It's not a hostile thing. There is some matter of urgency that she has to deal with, that she heads out to after you guys arrive and are getting ready to bed down. For the folks that are going to an inn, Browen, you said you're going to guide people to an inn. Would you be guiding them to the Crook's Nook or the Rockfish?
I would guide them to the Rockfish.
Okay. So for the rest of
always
you,
heads off to the Crook's Hook, but follows the group instead. Likes the cheaper accommodations, even though there's all criminals there.
it's one of those like, guys, you could have come up with a slightly better name for this place.
I mean,
It's like it's a little on the nose. Sorry.
what nonsense.
What if it's actually the nice one and it's called that to keep the riffraff
Yeah.
staying in town away?
That'd be a pretty good method,
Yeah.
actually.
So the Rowdy Rockfish, for anybody who can see my mouse kind of hovering over a thing on the map. Yeah, there you go. Why can't I ping? Oh, I can ping. Just didn't work before. Okay, cool. Yes, let's all ping. You ping, I ping, we all ping for ping ping.
Racist.
Is ping a racist thing?
Depends if that's his name.
Yeah, but it's not, so.
All hail the Hypno-Toad.
Welcome to ZomboCon.
Oh,
Does anybody else remember ZomboCon?
negative.
No.
Nope.
Does ZomboCon still exist? I have to find out now.
What is ZomboCon?
I'm just gonna quickly go to the toilet before we have like.
Oh my god, it does still
Welcome
exist.
to ZomboCon. This is ZomboCon.
I have to turn this off. How do I turn this off? Oh my god. So I'm gonna send a link to ZomboCom. You really have to listen to it for a good minute or two, so I recommend you do this later. ZomboCom is the answer to all of your needs. And I'm giving away how old I am by referencing ZomboCom. So you get to the Rowdy Rockfish. It is run by a dwarven woman. The tavern itself is currently packed when you guys get there with a mix of locals. It's not necessarily rowdy, but it's definitely active. But you're able to, as you get there, secure lodging for the night. I can tell you what that actually goes for. I think it's about 1 silver per day per person if you want to pay in advance a week at a time. She'll knock some value off of the cost. And I think we can probably figure more of that out later, but you guys can get your lodgings there for the night for everybody staying in town. And then I think I'll probably call it there because it's almost midnight my time. And then we can set out for the gauntlet at the beginning of the next session. Does that work for everybody?
So
Sounds good.
I'm back.
For Brawwin, he's going to after he drops people off at the tavern, he's going to stop at Crow's Casks, say a brief prayer to the shrine, and then head home.
Okay. Cool.
This fine dwarven lady say a silver per person per night.
It's a silver per person per night. If you want to pay for a longer period of time in advance, she's willing to do a discount.
I'll just pay the first night
Okay.
so I don't forget.
Cool.
For me. Everybody else can figure their shit out.
You figure your own shit out.
How far away would...
What about the druid circle? What's happening there?
I explained it all already.
Yeah, we're just getting free.
The
She just
gnome
left.
said, yeah, cool, you can bunk here. Bye.
Oh yeah, cool. So we don't have to pay anything or like.
For that
No.
night?
You're sleeping either on the ground or I'm assuming in Agathios's hair, which is creepy in its own way.
The operating costs of the Druid Grove.
I feel
razor thin.
like I would be running around in circles around the Guthios on my dog for a little while till I get tired, and then I'd fall asleep on top of my dog.
How far away would Ninkarok's tribe be, do you reckon, Grim? Or how far away could they realistically be to the town?
It's a good question. So you got a tribal lizard folk kind of meandering about. Oh, hey, the gauntlet's actually on this map.
Yeah, it is.
That's cool.
Huh.
I didn't realize it was on the map. There it is. So yeah, it's really close. I'd say probably like half an hour away, just to be realistic. To me, for some reason, I'm kind of pulling that out of my ass, Lyokin.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But it seems like they would live far enough away to
It'd be
be
semi-nomadic anyway, I think, so...
or like their encampment would be, half an hour away, in good weather.
Yeah, because they don't really do cities all that well, or towns.
And how big would that encampment be? I'm assuming it's rather small. Like
Yeah, it'd be like just, a collection of people who just,
like 5 or 10 families of lizard folk that kind of wander about Kordos.
Yeah, they're just sort of like clustered together for protection. That's about
Yeah.
it.
There's probably, I'm gonna guess, I'm making some stuff up right now, but I'm guessing there's probably a good number of these small lizard folk tribes, for lack of a better term, that kind of like just travel around Kordos. So yeah, we'll say that your tribe's current location is, let's call it 45 minutes. Fuck it, let's call it an hour because that's easier to track time on. We'll say about an hour's walk, so like 4 miles out of town or so. I'm thinking they prefer to set up camp far enough away that it doesn't like cause any issues with people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they stay short but decent distance out of town.
Just so that, like, it's Nickrak would crash in town because he didn't feel like, going on an hour-long trek in the dark by himself to go back to Australia.
Yeah, like it's far enough that you would just crash in the inn for the night if you were tired, which I think you would be. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, he'll pay that. It's like 1 silver, is it? Or
Yeah, it's 1 silver for a night if you're just getting 1 night's lodging.
cool. Done.
Cool. Yeah, then I think I'll call it there. Thanks everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.